Yo, what is going on, everybody? Man, today is gonna be a cool video. I'm sorry I've been away for a while, guys. I've been just on the grind, doing overnight shifts. So I really wanted to get in and do a video for you guys today. But before I go ahead, I just wanted to say thank you to the people that made this video possible, which is Amasim with their reseller exclusive 200 gigabyte unlimited calls, unlimited text within Australia plan, with free unlimited calls to up to 19 countries, including Canada, Chile, China, France, Germany, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Ireland, Japan, Malaysia, New Zealand, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, UK, USA, and Vietnam. If you want to get your hands on that juicy bad boy, $40 a month for 200 gig of data, unlimited text and calls within Australia, and unlimited calls to those 19 countries for the life of the prepaid plan. All you need to do is make sure you set up your direct debit so that amount comes out every 28 days. There's no credit checks. Head over to sydneymigtower.com/prepaid if you want to get your hands on that. It has been extended till the 31st of June. And if you're not using Brave browser already, and you want to change from Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox or Safari or basically any browser but Chrome, any browser but Brave browser, and you want to check it out, it does work a lot like Chrome, but it's a lot more private. So those two things that I just mentioned, they do help support my channel. So I'm just going to leave that with you. But anyway, let me get into this, guys, because this bad boy is a ripper today. Why I falsely accused father of abusing daughter. Police lent on me to stand by the claim, social worker told tribunal. Now, a lot of you guys may not actually know this, but when you go into the police, you have to do some university modules prior to going away to the police academy. This, at least I know this is definitely the case for New South Wales Police. Definitely. So what you may not know is that there's actually a bunch of feminist indoctrination going on. So, for example, these are just some screenshots of my mate's phone. He went off to the academy. Now, here we go. This was week 2, feminist criminology. Week 3, critical masculinity theory. Week 4, liberalism, gender, and the law. What else we got here? Week 5, female offending. Week 7, online crime. Week 10, ethnicity, religion, and violence. Now, let me just read a couple of these out to you. Damn, my eyes look fucking sick today. By the way, thank you to Shinobi1, one of my longtime faithful subscribers. I appreciate you, mate. He says, did I see you at church? MGTOW Church. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Next week, we will focus, here we go, on feminist criminology in particular. The history of feminist thought, including the 3 waves of feminism. Distinguishing between radical, liberal, and socialist feminism, applying feminist theory to criminology. And of course, in the assessment, you'll be required to show your understanding of the feminist theories. Here we go. This week, we will challenge simplistic understandings of male violence and gender inequality as biological or essentialist. Apply notions of structure, agency, and social practice to masculinity. Understand the basics of critical masculinity theory. Apply critical masculinity theory to crime and violence. So this is the indoctrination that our police officers are getting before they even go into the academy. So as Duality Reality says, all feminism can be grouped under one category: horse shit. Could not have said it better myself. And you have to also develop an understanding of the gendered differences in offending behavior and possible explanations. So what we mean by that is, how can we excuse away bad female behavior? And that's part of the reason why, if there's a domestic disturbance between a male and a female, the man gets arrested under the Duluth model and the female gets a caution and it gets recorded as a domestic disturbance, not domestic violence. This is very insidious. It is happening. This is what the feminists are up to. But, you know, I'm going to move on and get into this article here because I just want to give you a bit of framework on police response models there. So And see, that's why the police were actually encouraging her and pushing her to move forward with it, because that's what they have to do. The police are not allowed to actually withdraw domestic violence charges once they've been initiated. They have a legal requirement to proceed with them. Right? They actually don't have an option. Right? It's mandatory reporting under the Duluth model. Susie Smith has admitted falsely accusing Jonathan Copeland, 53, of attacking his 6-year-old child. Now, this is the can't understand thinking feminist right there. That's her. A social worker who accused an innocent father of abusing his daughter has claimed the police put pressure on her to stand by the lie. Yes, they did. Susie Smith has admitted falsely accusing Jonathan Copeland, 53, of attacking his 6-year-old child in an official custody case note. So she's admitted this in official documentation, and these charges led to him being handcuffed in front of neighbors and thrown in a jail cell. After the Mail revealed the case earlier this year, Mrs. Smith was brought before a disciplinary hearing this week over her behavior. Mrs. Smith, who works for CAFCAS, the Children and Family Court Advisory and Support Service, which is basically a bunch of feminists who help women and fuck men over, which represents children in the family court, admitted writing the damning note, but claimed she later tried to retract the allegation, only to be put under huge strain by the police to stick to her story. Because they got to get that prosecution, right? I would not give in to pressure. I would not submit to pressure placed on me to exaggerate or lie. But you already lied. You already lied. You were just admitting that you lied. And now they won't let you admit it because it's too far gone. Because they've got mandatory reporting requirements. And for all they know, you could be under pressure by your supposedly violent ex or some violent guy who's pressuring you into dropping the charges or saying that it was just a lie. So how do they know? By the way, Successful Endeavor says, Sydney, the Duluth white ribbon model is bullshit. It's not actually a white ribbon model. White ribbon used the model, but the model is from way back in the 1980s. I have a lot of information on this. I'm going to be doing something on this soon. I'm working on it. And I've been saying that for a while, but I am working on it. At the earliest opportunity, I repeatedly tried to correct this, she told the Health and Care Professions Council. No, the earliest opportunity would have been before you even said it to begin with. So don't give me that bullshit. Asked who was putting pressure on her, she replied, I was under pressure at that police station to exaggerate or... She was under pressure by the police to exaggerate or confirm what she'd written. Exaggerate it, make it worse for the guy. Under pressure from the police to exaggerate lies. Let that sink in. Mrs. Smith said officers were determined to act on the claims because the Lincolnshire unit had previously been lambasted by a judge for poor handling of another child protection issue. They were not listening to what I was saying, she added. Mr. Copeland, a former painter and decorator, raised his daughter, now 8, alone in Spalding, Lincolnshire, without the mother. He was granted custody shortly after her birth, but his former partner, a Thai illegal immigrant, has fought him through the courts. Mrs. Smith, so the mother was an illegal immigrant, and now the social worker is illegally making up lies. Like, what is it with breaking the law? And ladies, what is it with that? And honestly, people go, well, why are men avoiding women? Those two people, for starters, that's 100% success rate straight off the gate. The two people so far involved in this story, the two females, both of them breaking the law. One lying about someone else breaking the law, and one breaking the law outright. Both seemingly without accountability. Or if they have been held accountable, not a lot so far. So Mrs. Smith made a home visit in January 2012 and wrote the case note while she was... So Mrs. Smith, Susie Smith, the social worker, she made the case note while she was, and I quote, really, really angry. So while she was really, really angry. She was writing case notes with lies in them because she was angry. And that makes it okay. How? I don't know. No clue. She claimed she saw Mr. Coupland stroking his daughter inappropriately, which he has always denied and she now admits was not true. Mrs. Smith allegedly lied in a fit of pique after the single father criticized her handling of the case. Ah, the plot thickens. She then waited 3 months to tell authorities about what she claimed she saw. Wait, she waited 3 months. Didn't she say before she wouldn't give in to pressure? She wouldn't submit to pressure placed on her to exaggerate or lie? Right? What? Where was it? She said something about at her earliest opportunity, she corrected the lie. I'm sure she said that. Yeah. Her words. At the earliest opportunity, I repeatedly tried to correct this. Yeah, apparently her earliest opportunity was 3 months after she lied about a guy molesting his daughter because she was really, really angry that she got criticized. She was really, really angry that someone didn't say, oh, you're so amazing. I love the job you're doing. You're just perfect at your job. Right? Let me give you a fucking gold star. She was angry because someone gave a little bit of critique and was like, don't necessarily think that the way you're doing things is 100% correct. Like, there's just, I don't feel like this is right. So she's like, this is, she should not ever work as a social worker ever again. Seriously. Mr. Coupland was arrested at a home on suspicion of sexual assault and questioned for about 10 hours, and officers threatened to put his daughter in temporary care. A day later, he was informed there would be no further action after Mrs. Smith was interviewed and backtracked on her claims. CAFCAS, which is funded by the Department of Justice. Ha! Department of Justice, my ass! It's not justice when you get fucked over like that. Sacked Mrs. Smith, good, and has paid Mr. Coupland £86,000 in damages. Not nearly enough if you ask me. Mrs. Smith told the hearing she did not mean to implicate Mr. Coupland, but misunderstood what she had seen. She didn't misunderstand it. She was just pissed off and wanted to fuck him over. She said when she realized her mistake, she tried to put the record straight. Yeah, you realized your mistake 3 months later, did you? Sure. She added, I sincerely apologize to the father. Bullshit, you sincerely apologize. You couldn't give a shit. Right? You just don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to lose your job, but it's too late. So I'm glad you lost your job. I'm glad you can never screw another man over like this. So guys, if you saw that picture, you meet that woman in the street, even though I know none of my subscribers would be stupid enough to go after someone that wall smashed. If you are, just make sure it's not that person that's wall smashed. Anyway, last night Mr. Coupland told the Mail, I was arrested for sexually assaulting the most precious thing in my life. Once you are tarred with that brush, that is it. People where I live think I'm a pedophile. I want answers from the police. I want to know why they put pressure on Susie Smith to lie. I can tell you that, my friend. It's called the Duluth model. It's called mandatory response. It's called mandatory arrest policies. It's called mandatory reporting. I don't accept her apology in any way. No parent or child should have to go through what my family's gone through. Lincolnshire police said it was duty-bound to investigate the initial report of sexual assault, which is correct. They are duty-bound. They are legally required to do so under the framework of their duty of care obligations and the legislation that is at hand for family violence response under the Duluth model. But added, we will approach the individual concerned and will investigate any complaints. Panel Chairman Stephen Fash said Mrs. Smith had overstated what she thought she'd observed. The panel found she made the false allegation, but did not do so dishonestly. It will decide whether she is guilty of misconduct at a later hearing. That is very, very, very fascinating. It's very fascinating. So, Anyway, I'd love to give your thoughts. Well, I don't want to give your thoughts because then they wouldn't be your thoughts. So I would love for you to give me your thoughts in the comments below after this live video finishes. Also, if you haven't already, please make sure you smash the thumbs up and share this video. Due to YouTube's algorithms, it can be a bit challenging to get a bit of traction with this, but I think people really need to see stuff like this to understand what's going on with our system. And if you do want to support this channel, as I said, there's donation links below like PayPal and Bitcoin, but sydney.migtal.com/brave. Just check out Brave browser if you haven't already. It's fantastic on tablets, phones, laptops, computers, Mac, PC, everything. I've got it on all my devices. I love it. So good. It works the same as Chrome, but with much better privacy. And also, if you want to get that sweet 200 gigabyte of data and unlimited calls and texts in Australia and unlimited calls to 19 countries for the life of the service, as long as you set up direct debit to make sure the money comes out every month, head on over to sydneymigtal.com/prepaid and show your support over there. Guys, I appreciate you. I'm out of here for now. I look forward to catching you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this. Please share it, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Peace.